I've often pondered the essence of gut instincts. It echoes everywhere. A voice whispers of unease, a nagging certainty that something is wrong, yet it is silenced, pushed aside. In hindsight, my gut had been shouting for months before the wedding day arrived. It whispered that my fiancée, Lena Whitmore, and my best friend Travis Hale were crossing a line. Much too close for comfort, yet I was preoccupied. Overwhelmed by my relentless job at a software consultancy, consumed by the wedding Lena dreamed of, and striving to satisfy her exacting parents, Gregory and Vivian Whitmore. Jealousy flickered within me as I watched Lena and Travis share laughter, his gaze on her igniting a storm of unease. Yet I lacked the strength to confront those dark thoughts. Fatigue consumed me. Endless 12-hour workdays, relentless calls, and the whirlwind of wedding chaos. My parents, despite their love, lacked the resources and knowledge to meet the extravagant demands of Lena and her mother. I was drowning in a sea of responsibilities, gasping for air. Yet the warning signs loomed large. Every time Lena and Travis texted, more than a best friend and fiancé should, I'd see their smiles, hear their laughter, and feel the sting of unshared secrets between them. If I asked, "What's so funny?" they'd just shrug or offer light-hearted, vague replies. Just a fleeting joke, a whisper of laughter, nothing that would catch your eye. Travis had been a part of my life since our first year in college. In that tiny dorm, we fought through sleepless nights for finals, always there to catch each other when we stumbled. I thought we were like brothers, and perhaps that's why I buried my worries deep inside. His betrayal of my trust hit like a knife, sharp and unexpected. He's my best man, I reminded myself, heart racing. He's there for me, isn't he? Understood. Lena hailed from a world of privilege. The Whitmore family basked in their local fame. Gregory wielded power in politics, while Vivian, the queen of social events, ruled the room with her icy smiles and sharp glances. When I proposed to Lena, their acceptance felt reluctant, heavy with unspoken doubts. They never crossed the line into rudeness, yet their words cut deep, a constant reminder that I was marrying up, that the Whitmore name demanded perfection. Their arrogance seeped into every detail of the wedding planning. They promised to share the cost equally, but their demands spiraled into opulence. An extravagant venue, lavish centerpieces, a string quartet, and a guest list swelling to nearly 300. My parents, a retired school teacher and a nearly retiring nurse, had to tap into their savings to cover their share. Every attempt to establish boundaries crumbled under Lena's mother's relentless pressure. "We can't cut corners, we're the Whitmores," she'd insist, her voice dripping with disdain. "What will people think? You want your bride to look cheap on her big day?" Their words cut deep, yet Lena always chose her parents' side. She'd wave me away, letting them revel in their joy. Just this once, right? Final echoes of a life lived. A week before the wedding, Travis, with a confident grin, took charge of hotel reservations for the guests traveling from afar. "You've got enough to handle. Let me take care of it," he said, showing the phone screenshots with urgency. It was like reliving college, placing my trust in him with something vital. Gratitude washed over me as I expressed my thanks. On the evening before the wedding, our families came together for a rehearsal dinner in the Grand Hall at Fairmont Hollow Estate. Lena, radiant in her bridal white dress, danced among her father's relatives, who hardly noticed my presence. My parents stood there, tension thick in the air, uneasy under the weight of the opulence surrounding us. Travis shot me quick thumbs-ups from across the room, each one a spark of connection. After the run-through, we gathered in the lounge, the air thick with anticipation for the after-party. Joy turned to dread as I realized Lena was gone. Voicemails echoed in silence. A bridesmaid, breathless and shaken, slipped away for a moment of solitude. I shrugged, the weight of unspoken words hanging in the air. It was the night before the wedding. Perhaps she just needed to breathe. Time slipped away, and so did Travis. Initially, I brushed it off. Maybe he was just grabbing more champagne. But a persistent voice urged me to search for him and for her. 30 minutes stretched into an hour. Curiosity ignited within me. I snatched my phone, scrolled through social media, desperate to see if Lena or Travis had shared anything. I found myself on Lena's Instagram. In a heartbeat, she uploaded a story, only to erase it moments later, the weight of her mistake heavy in the air. The harm was irreversible. In that brief moment, I saw the hotel hallway, the shimmering carpet pattern, and a glimpse of a door number. This was not the corridor of our wedding venue. New location, new hotel. My heart seized within me. The instinct I had buried surged back, fierce and undeniable. Experience it firsthand. I had to witness it firsthand. As I navigated the bustling streets by the hotel district, my thoughts spiraled, each possibility more urgent than the last. Had she slipped away to a friend's room? Was Travis there to help her rise again? My heart raced at the thought. What if they truly are together? Unbelievable. It can't possibly be true. Yet the awakened part of me would not be silenced. I was aware of Travis's recent hotel bookings for guests, but the specifics eluded me. I parked and stepped into the elegant lobby of the Ashford Palms Hotel, scanning the front desk for a hint of recognition from my past visits or Travis's reservations. My plan was shaky, but fate intervened. I spotted Travis's car by the entrance. If that wasn't a sign, I couldn't imagine what could be. I ascended to the 8th floor, my gaze darting over each door number, hunting for the one I had seen in the Instagram video. Room 846, 847. My heart pounded, each footfall reverberating through the stillness. The night outside was a suffocating void. The harsh overhead light pierced through me, revealing my vulnerability before I was ready to face them. But I wasn't ready for a clash. Not now. A force within me demanded evidence, ensuring my sanity would remain unquestioned forever. I crept closer, my ear pressed against the door of room 847. At first, silence enveloped me. Heart racing, I cautiously turned the handle, and to my disbelief, the door was unlocked from within. It was left locked just by the flicker of an electronic mechanism, a careless oversight that felt heavy with consequence. Travis had handed me a master key card earlier this month, claiming it was for wedding emergencies. In case disaster struck with the guest rooms, he had warned. I pulled it from my pocket, slipped it into the slot, and held my breath. The tiny LED blinked to life, green light glowing, the handle releasing with a quiet click. Their weapon, a tool for their own destruction, I realized. My stomach twisted as I slipped in, silent and unseen. Dim lights cast soft shadows that danced on the walls. A soft whisper ignited a fire within me. On the king-size bed, Lena lay entwined with Travis. Bare-skinned, hair wild, she lay sideways on the plush bedding while Travis hovered above her. In a quiet moment, their words slipped away, but her laughter pierced through, leaving a lingering ache. That was everything. Fury erupted within me, fists clenching tight, a primal response to the storm inside. Rage surged within me, a fierce need to drag Travis from the bed and unleash my fury upon him for his audacity. Yet a quiet part of me urged to hold back, to reveal nothing, to capture the evidence. The wedding loomed just hours away, a whirlwind of anticipation and emotion. I craved their presence at that altar, their ignorance a mask, as I prepared to shatter their flawless illusion before all. Let them believe they escaped unscathed. My hands trembled as I lifted my phone, switched to video mode, and focused in. My thumb trembled, poised above the record button. Yes, I whispered to myself. They'll need to witness the truth of what I've captured. I captured a fleeting moment of them in bed, every detail etched in time. Lena's expression, Travis's stance, and the timestamp in the corner. They were completely unaware of my presence. Travis's whisper hung in the air, a promise of secrecy, as Lena's soft laughter echoed, charged with thrill. It was captured flawlessly. My whole being shook with fury. I bit my tongue, desperate to stay hidden in the shadows. Silence reigns. Now is not the moment. I chanted that mantra relentlessly, clinging to it as my lifeline. As I gathered the footage, I stepped back slowly, capturing every moment, ensuring the phone's microphone caught every painful detail. I shut the door, silence swallowing the moment. I bolted, racing down the hallway toward the elevator. A bomb was strapped to my chest, ticking down to tomorrow's explosion. The night air hit me, icy and jarring. My heart raced as if I'd just run a marathon. Fury surged within, on the brink of explosion, ready to erupt into a scream or collapse. The phone trembled in my clammy grip, a stark reminder that those I once trusted had betrayed me deeply. I paused to steady my breath, then climbed into my car and drove, lost in thought, until I stumbled upon a 24-hour diner, the Lantern Diner. In a dim booth, I watched the footage alone, heart racing. It was unmistakable. In that moment, a ruthless scheme began to grow. They succeeded in their cruel intent, leaving me shattered. Tomorrow, I won't be the only one facing humiliation. Sleep eluded me that night. By 5 in the morning, I had gulped down 3 cups of coffee, furiously jotted notes for my wedding presentation, and plotted my moves to seize control of the microphone and projector. Our venue, Fairmont Hollow Estate, offered cutting-edge AV equipment, allowing us to unveil a poignant slideshow of our childhoods and the milestones of our relationship. I had gathered Lena's baby photos, my awkward teenage moments, and our beach memories, each one a fragment of our shared story. Everything could vanish in a heartbeat. I understood the system intimately, able to redirect the feed to anything I desired: a thumb drive, a phone, any external source. A part of me faltered, gripped by the weight of revealing a fragment of something deeply personal and intimate. But then the memory hit me, the betrayal that unfolded behind my back the night before the wedding. The sting of betrayal fueled my need for vengeance, making it feel utterly justified. Every choice echoes through time. At 6:30 a.m., I made my way back to the apartment Lena and I had called home for nearly a year. Of course, she still hadn't returned. If she believed I was unaware, perhaps she had crept in at dawn, slipped into the guest room, and intended to feign a simple girls' night out. Yet as I swung the door open, the world inside remained untouched, frozen in time. The living room lay in darkness, the bedroom perfectly arranged. I stepped into the bedroom that had lost its warmth, now a hollow shell of what it once was. It now felt like uncharted land. The charger lay abandoned on the bedside table, a silent reminder of her absence. The ring box I had given her sat hauntingly on the dresser. Heartbreak ignited once more, fury rising in its wake. She discarded our entire world for a fleeting moment with my closest friend. I silenced my phone, desperate for a moment of peace, but my thoughts roared on, relentless. At 9 a.m., Lena finally arrived. The door clicked open, a soft beep echoing in the silence. I lay still, heart racing, hoping she'd quietly slip inside. Her footsteps barely whispered, a silent plea to keep me in the dark about her absence. She avoided the master bedroom entirely. I heard her enter the guest room, likely to fix what was broken. Half an hour later, I stepped out, pretending to yawn, masking the storm inside. She sat at the kitchen island, hair brushed, dressed in a simple t-shirt and sweatpants. Her smile was weary, yet it held a world of unspoken stories. "Morning, babe," she whispered. "I spent the night at a friend's place. One too many glasses at the rehearsal dinner. Familiar, right?" I smiled back, my mind a whirlwind of last night's video. "It must have been one wild party," I replied, my voice steady. "Relieved to know you're safe." I pressed my lips to her cheek, fighting the urge to unleash a biting remark. Her eyes sparkled with relief, tinged with caution. She's searching for the truth within me, I understood. She must have feared I knew, but my face showed only a calm resignation. Imagine believing you escaped unscathed. The act had to last only a few more hours. The wedding loomed at 3 p.m., a moment poised at the elite Fairmont Hollow Estate, where prestige hung heavy in the air. My parents arrived at 1 p.m., brimming with excitement, oblivious to the tempest lurking just below. I embraced them with empty arms. My mother glowed in her pastel dress. My father's hand on my back stirred memories of the silent boy I used to be. I forced a smile and claimed I had last-minute AV setups. Until we meet again. Lena and her bridesmaids hurriedly perfected their hair and makeup in the suite, anticipation crackling in the air. Travis was probably in the groomsman's room, but I felt no urge to seek him out. Let him believe I remained oblivious. I crept into the AV booth, eyes fixed on the ballroom below. Luis Romero, the technician, was on edge as he tested the microphone and projector, each click echoing his anticipation. "This is the groom, Ethan," he confided to a colleague. "He has more to reveal, doesn't he?" "Absolutely," I nodded with a quick smile. I yanked a flash drive from my jacket pocket. A surprise video awaits. I'm ditching the typical couple slideshow for something far more intense. Luis let out a soft yet haunting laugh. "Today's the day, my friend. Just let me know the cue and I'll switch out the files." I pressed the flash drive. "I'll send a sign. Perhaps I'll simply say, 'Let it begin.' You'll regret not being there." A flicker of guilt clawed at my insides, but I silenced it. They did this to themselves. The ceremony was set to begin at 3 p.m. in the grand ballroom, a lavish space adorned with soaring ceilings and shimmering chandeliers, where every chair was perfectly arranged for the guests. By 2:50, the crowd was electric, anticipation hanging thick in the air. Excited voices buzzed, selfies flashed, smiles exchanged in a whirlwind of joy. The bride's side loomed large, a powerful assembly of social elites, dignitaries, and family ties, all charged with unspoken tension. My tight-knit circle of friends, colleagues, and family stood there, yet they felt lost in the sea of the crowd. As the groom, I stood at the altar, heart racing, waiting for the moment the wedding party would enter. Yet at 2:55, I vanished. The officiant, a longtime friend of Gregory Whitmore, scanned the room bewildered. Gregory glared at his watch, frustration etched on his face. My mother fidgeted, her anxiety palpable. Vivian Whitmore, clad in a crisp lilac suit, leaned in, her brow furrowed, whispering urgently to the guests, "Where is Ethan? Is he ever dependable?" She relished every opportunity to tear me down. Lena, tucked away in the shadows, would be spiraling into panic now, but I was absent, unaware of her turmoil. I peered from the second-floor balcony, hidden behind curtains, absorbing the crowd, feeling the pulse of their energy. At 3:01, the doors were meant to swing open for the bridal processional. Instead, confusion reigned, accompanied by a hushed wave of unease. "It's time to unleash the truth." I crept into the AV booth, where Luis fidgeted anxiously by the soundboard. He locked eyes with me and said, "Hey man, we're 2 minutes behind. You good?" "Of course," I said, forcing a smile as I approached the microphone linked to the overhead speakers. My heart pounded violently, threatening to shatter my ribs, yet rage and adrenaline surged within me. "Here we go." I flipped the mic switch. In the vast ballroom, my voice reverberated, cutting through the silence. "Good afternoon, all." A silence fell, heavy and palpable, among the gathered audience. They glanced around, anticipation hanging thick in the air, waiting for my presence at the altar. Yet there was only silence. Chaos ignited. Gregory rose, scanning the room with urgency. Vivian clutched her chest, breath hitching. "Hello?" the officiant questioned, confusion etched on their face. "Thank you all for being here." I pressed on through the speakers. Outwardly serene, but a storm of vengeance raged within. "A shift in plans is coming before the ceremony begins." "There will be no ceremony." Gasps surged through the hall, relentless and electric. Eyes searched, hearts raced, as they strained to find me. Some rose, straining to catch a glimpse of me near the sound system. Lena was unraveling in the bridal suite. Luis's eyes widened, a silent storm brewing within them. I gestured for him to start the video. He hesitated, plugged in my flash drive, eyes locked on me, waiting for the signal. "Hold on," I urged, my voice echoing in the tense air. "I have something to reveal. A short video. Luis, please, roll it now." The massive projector screen, once alive with our joyful memories, suddenly went dark. In an instant, darkness enveloped the screen. A grainy yet vivid video flickered to life. The footage I had captured just hours before. Lena and Travis entwined in the bedsheets, their whispers echoing, the date and time flickering in the corner. I edited it to capture the instant Travis's gaze met the camera, even though he remained oblivious to my presence. I zoomed in, the clock behind them starkly marking the night before the wedding. Cries of shock pierced the air. A silence fell, quickly shattered by a surge of furious murmurs. Guests stood frozen, hands clamped over their mouths. One older aunt let out a piercing shriek. "Dear Lord!" Gregory, standing, almost fell into his seat. Vivian's face twisted in agony, as if she had ingested poison. Travis, likely in the groomsmen's lounge, could have felt the gasps and understood the unfolding chaos. "It's over now, my friend." Frantic footsteps echoed, shouts piercing the air. The officiant's gaze fixed on the screen, a mix of despair and helplessness washing over them. A bridesmaid screamed in despair. Then a voice cut through the chaos. "Someone turn that off!" I let it play for 10 seconds, enough time for everyone to grasp the date, the stark images, the painful truth of my fiancé and my best friend. And just like that, I severed the connection. The darkness swallowed everything, yet the screams echoed on. The crowd erupted in chaos. Luis's face was ghostly white. "What the hell is going on?" he whispered, but I pulled back from the mic. Lena emerged at the entrance, her wedding gown billowing, but her face twisted in terror. Her hair gleamed, her makeup perfect, yet her fear was palpable. "Turn it off!" she screamed, her voice trembling with urgency. She had just missed the moment, but the stunned faces revealed everything. Vivian sprinted to the projector, her fingers stabbing at the staff. "Who allowed this?" she hissed. Luis huddled in the booth, fear gripping him, no time to react. Gregory charged down the center aisle, a furious roar escaping his lips. "Where is Ethan? I need him now." He spun wildly, his face a deep crimson. The guests hesitated, torn between staying and escaping. My mother wept. My father loomed beside her, eyes fierce, scanning the ballroom, desperate to uncover the truth. Lena's relatives recoiled, fear gripping them at the thought of the scandal's stain. A woman in the second row collapsed, her neighbor urgently shaking her shoulder, desperate for water. Chaos reigned supreme. Lena's gaze pierced the crowd, searching every shadow, every face. The train of her gown trailed behind, haunting and ethereal. At last, her gaze found me on the second-floor balcony. I leaned in, peering over the edge. All eyes in the congregation turned to me, as if I were the ringmaster of a dark, twisted circus. "What are you up to?" Lena's scream pierced the air, raw with fury. "You're breaking the rules by showing up before the wedding, you coward." An odd grievance given the situation. A dark thrill surged within me as, amidst the chaos, she held tightly to the old superstition of keeping the groom from seeing the bride. "No wedding," I declared, my voice echoing with finality. "Last night sealed it." She stood still, tears shimmering in her gaze. "Ethan, please, we need to talk. Just not here. Not in front of them." "Why not?" I fired back. "You betrayed me with my closest friend. Everyone who invested their time and money to be here deserves an explanation for the ceremony's cancellation." Her mother, seething with rage, thrust an accusing finger in my direction. "You've tarnished the Whitmore name before these esteemed guests. Do you not see the depth of our humiliation?" I laughed, a harsh, jagged sound escaping my lips. "Shameful?" Lena and Travis shattered my pride. I'm repaying the debt. A sudden uproar erupted at the front of the room. Travis burst in, half-dressed in his tux, hair a mess, eyes frantic with fear. "Ethan, we need to discuss this now." He stepped toward the dais, heart racing. I raced down the stairs into the main hall, ready to confront him. Lena lunged forward, desperate to shield me. I pushed through, the big white dress blocking my path. Rage coursed through me, twisting my insides with a sickening intensity. My fists tightened, pain shooting through them. Travis stammered, "You twisted my words." She was devastated. I couldn't bear to listen to him any longer. Their images in bed, captured by my phone, haunted my thoughts. A surge of rage consumed me, and I struck him hard across the face. The impact resonated, shattering the silence that enveloped the crowd. Travis collapsed, the floor meeting him with a harsh thud and a choked cry of agony. A collective breath caught in their throats. Lena screamed, "Stop! You're hurting him!" She knelt beside Travis, the fabric of her dress forgotten, consumed by the moment. Vivian gasped, her voice caught in her throat. "You beast, attacking him in plain sight?" I gestured toward Travis, fighting to rise. He's the beast, and so is your daughter. They orchestrated my downfall, deceiving me at every turn. The world has finally unveiled their true selves. A heavy silence hung in the hall. Lena's eyes burned with fury, tears cascading down her cheeks. Ethan, please, I'm sorry. Just stop. I faced the guests, their phones raised, recording every frantic moment of the turmoil. Thank you all for being here, I said with a biting edge. But today there will be no wedding. Apologies if you were hoping for a beautiful ceremony. You received the raw truth. I burst from the main hall, flinging the heavy double doors wide. My parents trailed behind, shocked yet determined. Lena cried out for me, but I kept my gaze forward. I raced back to our apartment, heart pounding fiercely. My mother stood by me, her face pale with shock, tears streaming down her cheeks. Ethan, is this really what you want? Was it all real? She whispered as we stepped inside. I nodded, revealing the raw, unedited clip from the night before. Her expression shattered in disbelief. Oh God, she whispered, holding me tight. I deeply regret it. My father lingered behind her, words caught in his throat. You made your choice, son. His hand brushed my shoulder, yet the pain in his gaze pierced through me. We sacrificed so much for this wedding, but it pales in comparison to watching you live a lie. They departed despite countless promises of unwavering love. A lingering guilt gnawed at me, haunting me for the chaos that erupted at the wedding. My parents endured that shameful scene after giving everything. I just didn't know what else to do. Silently calling off the wedding left me empty, no sense of resolution. The truth had to be revealed. Alone at last, I began the painful task of clearing Lena's things from the apartment. That night, I dragged boxes from the closet, gathering her clothes, her countless shoes, her makeup sets, and those quirky decor pieces she had to have. I packed them with care, each box marked in bold black. In the dead of night, I rented a U-Haul trailer, packed it tight, and drove to her parents' estate. A vast mansion loomed in the gated community, a testament to the Whitmore family's bloated ego. The security guard at the entrance eyed me, a flicker of concern crossing his face as he spotted the U-Haul. Everything okay, Mr. Carver? He asked, his voice laced with caution. I'm just here to drop off Lena's things, I said flatly. He pushed the gate open. I parked beneath the imposing portico, stone pillars and a grand mahogany door looming over me, judging my every move. Anger bubbled beneath the surface, yet an unsettling calm enveloped me. The rush faded, and the weight of my choices crashed over me. I arranged the boxes on the doorstep, struck the brass knocker, and turned away toward the truck. As I stepped away, a light flickered to life within. It's likely Gregory or Vivian, curious about the intruders shattering their midnight peace. Let them uncover the cherished remnants of their beloved daughter. She could move back into her old bedroom. It meant nothing to me. The next morning, furious knocking jolted me awake. For a fleeting moment, I believed it was just a dream. Suddenly, Gregory Whitmore's voice pierced through the silence. Let us in. We can feel your presence. I yanked on a t-shirt and flung the door wide, only to be met by Lena, Gregory, and Vivian, their faces twisted in furious disbelief. Lena's eyes were swollen and crimson, her hair a wild mess. Gregory stood tall in his tailored suit, fists tight with tension. Vivian flaunted her lavish coat, clutching a stack of papers like a lifeline. We need to talk about compensation, Gregory declared, his voice icy. A weary chuckle escaped me, barely contained. Compensation for what pain? Vivian thrust the papers into my hands. The wedding disaster, without a doubt. We poured countless dollars into this event. The lodging costs, the catering, the advanced bookings. Your display shattered it all. I stole a quick look at the itemized receipts. Your daughter betrayed me with Travis last night. You know that, right? I'm convinced they're the cause of all this destruction. Lena's face contorted in fury. You had no right to confront me like that in front of everyone. If you didn't want to face it, you could have just slipped away quietly. Every right surged within me, I said, fury igniting once more. You and Travis brought me down. I just gave it back. Don't act surprised by what comes next, Gregory's voice surged, filled with intensity. We covered half of that wedding. Your parents helped, but the total skyrocketed, leaving you with the burden of the rest. We demand our money back. You owe us. Let's settle on 15,000. That's just a fraction of what we've truly lost. I couldn't believe my eyes. You believe I should pay you 15 grand for a wedding your daughter ruined? Vivian's mouth contorted. Your despicable act with the projector was unforgivable. Important guests filled the room. Clients, donors, local officials. Their presence weighed heavily on us. You shattered our dignity before those who hold our fate in their hands. You won't leave without facing the price of your actions. I almost chuckled at the audacity. If only Lena had kept her legs closed the night before our wedding, none of this chaos would exist. Lena recoiled. You absolute fool. Perhaps if you had been present, if you had truly cared for me. I silenced her with a bitter laugh. Is it really all on me? Do you realize? Leave, now. Not a single cent will I part with. Gregory loomed nearer, casting a shadow over me. Do you even realize who you're up against? You claim to hold sway here, don't you? But you're overlooking that I possess that recording of your daughter's face, complete with the timestamp. If you want to flex your power, be my guest. The raw footage will be laid bare for all to see. Your donors and local officials will surely relish the chance to relive it. Let's talk about who truly feels the sting of humiliation. They locked eyes, Gregory's fury burning brighter. Yet he faltered. Lena stepped forward, her eyes brimming with tears, searching for a new way to connect. Ethan, I beg you. We once shared a love that burned bright. We forged a life side by side. Don't let one mistake shatter it all. One mistake? I asked, my voice trembling with disbelief. You made that choice. It was no accident. I witnessed it and captured it all. Forward is the only way. Leave, now. Gregory's shoulders drooped, the weight of his defeat crashing down as he grasped the absence of leverage. They could threaten me, but I held the truth in my hands. Vivian released a disdainful sniff. I shrugged. You'll regret this. Not nearly as much as I would have regretted saying yes to your daughter. They burst out, the door crashing shut with a force that shook the walls. My head thudded against the wood after they left. A surge of fatigue and poignant relief washed over me. It's done. There was only emptiness, a void where love should have been, a victory that feels empty, yet it remains a victory. Whispers raced through the crowd. Friends responded with a mix of support, disbelief, and harsh criticism. I told the tale again, how I discovered their secret, why I revealed it at the wedding. Some deemed it savage, others legendary. I turned a deaf ear to the naysayers. Travis texted once, "Dude, I'm sorry, you have to understand." I chose to ignore it. He was fired for dishonesty, a fitting end. My parents were shattered by the lost money, yet a flicker of relief shone through. They were grateful I escaped a doomed marriage. My father comforted my mother, saying it was better to lose money than to lose Ethan's dignity. I vowed to make it right. The Whitmores scrambled, weaving deceit around my fury and envy. The guests uncovered the truth. Their name lay in tatters. Lena, shamed, wandered among friends, perhaps even returning to Travis. I felt nothing. I relocated to a more affordable place, immersed myself in my job, and gradually pieced my life back together. Heartbreak clung to me, yet fury propelled my steps. The scandal slowly slipped into the shadows. I held on to that hotel footage, ready to reveal the truth if anyone dared to doubt it.